Hey guys, welcome to our new channel, CD Vlogs Cast, and this is our very first segment, Mega Time. We're going to be talking about Power Rangers Megaforce. Power Rangers Megaforce! Been working on that all morning.
Every time I hear that theme song, I think of Lightspeed Rescue.
Lightspeed Rescue?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you say that was like a
It's like the same like chord progression or something? I don't know. It sounds very similar. But then again,
obviously it's
everything in this first episode is kind of reminiscent of MMPR or some other Ranger season in some way.
I mean, let's see. We didn't actually go through and count everything, but we've seen the episode twice now.
Well, yeah, we probably should specify that this is a week out. So technically, episode 2 aired yesterday, which we both watched and are set to record for. But we kind of wanted to give a little bit of time between episodes and the videos that we post. This way, anybody who's been wanting to see Megaforce at this point, I'm going to safely assume has seen it. Because if you're waiting a week, what the hell is your problem? But basically, we're going to be posting these a week behind the show airing. This way, we reduce the amount of spoilers we give out. Because, let's be honest, when Cho and I start to rant, we don't necessarily account for any kind of spoilers we may say. So,
it's hard to censor.
Yeah, just for people watching it and avoiding fan rage, we
Then again, if you don't want a spoiler for something you haven't seen, don't look up reviews on it.
Right? That's weird.
Just saying, but we're trying to be polite.
Anyway, Megaforce.
No man's land.
Mega Time. Woo! Mega Time! CD's Vlogcast. Okay.
So we were talking about how it's very similar to MMPR, like my shirt.
That's a cool shirt. I don't know where you got that from.
You got it for me. You bought it and sent it to me. It's got a little belt, but I can't show it on camera.
It's because somebody didn't
near
know
the
what
waistline
Toku was.
No, you introduced me to Toku. It's your fault.
I did create that
It is
monster.
all your fault. So
I'm not sorry for it either.
Anybody who's ever wondered, oh my gosh, how did such a... I've had so many people be like, oh my god, you're a hot girl who's into Toku. Oh my lord, that gets old, okay? If any of you are curious, his fault. His fault. I don't know which way I have to point because I'm not really sure how this camera, but...
That way.
You're not helpful. His fault. So, let's see.
Episode 1.
Personalities...
What was the name of this episode?
Heck if I know.
I want to say Day of the Dumpster, but that's like that's MMPR episode 1. What is the name of this episode? It's Mega Time.
I don't pay attention to episode
Probably something
names.
cheesy. Episode 2 was He Blasted Me with Science. I know that.
I remember that.
Is it Mega Mission Start? Something like that?
Something like that.
Something
Mega Mission? That was just Mega Mission. I think it's something about a mega mission.
I'll probably just superimpose the name of the episode somewhere on screen.
Annotations.
Yeah.
Are useful.
Post-editing. Post-edit is a girl's best friend.
So the episode started out with Troy's dream. I almost said Alita.
Oh, well, no. That would have been an accurate statement. Since Alita was in this episode.
Yeah, he was in the...
He's also in the intro, which is weird. Why would you use stock footage in your intro?
Obviously, Alita's jacket. Duh.
I know, right?
But it's one frame.
I'll put it in there, in that square.
I hope you point the right direction.
Yeah, that's why I did this. So it's this way. The camera's correct on screen. So it's not like a mirror, it's weird. It's fucking with my brain.
I'm gonna laugh if you're actually pointing
I'm just pointing the wrong direction. That suck. Anyway, Alita was in this, and it's funny because people were I don't want to say bitching because I don't want to be rude, but people were griping about the fact that the henshin sequence, or I guess the morph, it's weird saying that because you and I watch more Toku than anything, but the morph sequence showed the Gosei cards, right? Mm. So it was Gosei red, Gosei black, yada yada yada. It's not that big of a deal to me because it's not something like Gal Ranger to Wild Force or Hurricaneger to Ninja Storm. It's Gosei is in Power Rangers. The confusing part for me was when Gosei didn't call them, Gosei Rangers, or didn't call them Megaforce. He called them Mega Rangers, which is kind of weird. I don't know if anybody else picked that up, but for me that was weird. It kind of sounds like, I don't know, some knockoff brand. Like, when you go to the flea market and you find the toys that look like Power Rangers but they're not Power Rangers, they're fucking Mega Rangers. That's what it sounded like.
Well, he said they would become Mega Rangers.
Yeah.
But I took that as they were still Power Rangers, but they were, Mega Rangers. They were the new...
Yeah, what is this fascination with Mega? Or Super?
Oh, I don't know.
Like, Saban,
I
man,
really
what the
don't
hell are you doing, dude? And
don't give me this shit. Hyper.
Don't give me the shit about this is a kid's show. This show is filmed for kids. That doesn't. I hate that fucking argument. Because you know why? Because this show's been on TV for 20 years. 20 years. Can't ignore the majority of your fan base. That's all I'm saying. Anyway.
Sorry.
And
what?
Rent. I just hate that excuse. I hate when people fucking say that shit. It's annoying.
I was just copying your there.
Because it pisses me off. Because I would say this is a kid's show. Technically, this is a kid's show. But they wouldn't have things like Power Morphicon if this was just a kid's show. This show has been on the air for 20 seasons. I started watching this show in 1993. Alright, I don't know if you guys are mathematicians out there, but that's a long fucking time. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person who has been watching it the entirety of its run, alright?
Not laughing. I'm not laughing.
No, that's fine.
I'm not laughing.
It gets on my nerves when people justify Saban's laziness with, oh, it's a kid's show. So are kids dumb? Is that what you're trying to say? Like, just because kids are the main focus for the show doesn't mean it's the only one. It's not 6-year-olds who are running out and buying the Legacy Morpher from Toys R Us. It's us. The package itself says Morpher. 15 and up. It's not a kid's toy. It's a collector's toy. We are the ones that keep this show afloat. Because not only is it us buying the stuff now, we're having our kids getting into this show. We are introducing our kids to this show. So yes, technically it is a kid's show, but you can't ignore the core of your fan base. You just can't.
And the kids aren't the ones making the money to buy the toys. If the parents don't support the show, they're not going to buy the toys for their kids.
Especially with this season being the 20th anniversary, you should kind of shift your focus to a little bit older of an audience. And which it seems like they're doing because, like we said, the first episode was chock full of homages to Day of the Dumpster. MMPR episode 1, if you guys don't know what that is. I mean, I counted at least 3. The entire opening fight was pretty much a recreation of the first fight from MMPR, where they all kind of sucked, and they didn't know what they were doing. And then the Red Ranger stood up and he was like, hey, blah, 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 said this morpher will give us power. Let's morph. Like, that whole thing was in Day of the Dumpster.
Almost verbatim, the same line.
So this is definitely... I guess we kind of got off track. You were kind of going through the process, but I hijacked it. Sorry.
No, you went full circle back around to what I was getting to. You're fine. Keep going.
It's this is our season, and I will not concede that to anybody. Because this season isn't. It's a perfect season to get new kids in on, because it feels a lot like what Power Rangers was. I was talking to you yesterday. We were watching episode 2 about, because you know me. After I would probably say Ninja Storm, I kind of fell off the Power Rangers bandwagon. That's when I discovered Toku, and that's when I started watching Sentai and stuff. So I kind of became a Sentai purist for a little bit. And when I found out that Saban got the rights back last season with Samurai, I was hopeful, but very, very disappointed. I didn't want a shot-for-shot remake of Shinkenger. I wanted a new story. And say what you want about Disney, but Disney used their stock footage well. Perfect example would be Go Under to RPM. They know how to use that stock footage and write around that stock footage. RPM was a great season, as far as the Disney seasons are concerned. So when Saban got Shinkenger, and got the rights back to Power Rangers and dropped the ball so hard, I was very disappointed. Very fucking disappointed. And the one way people would justify it is, oh, it's a kid's show. Fuck you. You have a huge fan base that aren't kids. You have 20-somethings and 30-somethings going to these conventions every year, meeting these Power Rangers, because that's what we grew up on. There's no rule that says once you turn a certain age you have to stop watching what you loved.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wish people would realize that it is more than just a kid show. Just because it's on a kid's network, on a Saturday morning time slot, doesn't make it a kid's show.
So with what you just said, did you like or did you dislike all the things that they did similar that were almost exact copies of the first MMPR episode?
It's funny because I did a lot of bitching during Samurai. As far as like reusing of the theme song and the fucking catchphrases and all that other shit, but
I think a lot of us did.
Yeah, well, for some reason with Megaforce, it feels different. It feels like back when I watched MMPR. When I first sat down when I was a kid and started watching it, like I got the same feelings from it. And I don't know if that's because there's a little more production value in this season, with it being the 20th anniversary and everything. But the like I was telling you the other day when we were trying to record the first time, that they've spent so much time on melding the stock footage so well with their original footage. It's kind of hard to tell where one ends and one begins. Even with in-suit battles, the editing is done so well and the blending is done so well that it finally feels like it's up to par. Like, let's not get things twisted. The main reason why everyone holds MMPR in such high standards is pure nostalgia factor. Because if you go back and watch it now, we bitch about the acting that was in Samurai. Early Power Rangers was pretty fucking bad. So we go back to Power Rangers, stuff like that, and it's not amazing and it's not fantastic. For fuck's sake, the Green Ranger suit, every time that it was original footage, looked like a shoddy cosplay. Like, the shield went from being like a foam piece to like this weird fabric thing, and like you can just tell, like, with their freaking neck braces and stuff, they went from being suits underneath to just like these weird neck braces. So you could tell pretty clearly where stock footage ended and original footage began, especially when season 2 started, because Zeo Ranger only ran for one season, so they had to do a lot of patchwork and film a lot of their own footage, which is why in season 2, like, every fight is in that same fucking park. Like, like every fight with the putties is on that same playground set and on the same hilly fucking knoll. So it's it's definitely better than MMPR. Like, I feel if MMPR, if Power Rangers didn't exist in 1993, if they waited till 2013 to make Power Rangers, this is what it would be. You know, as far as, like, the special effects and the editing and the cinematography behind it, because say what you want about the intro, but the intro is pretty fucking awesome. Like, it gets you hyped up and ready for the show. Even though, yeah, Alita is in the first 5 fucking seconds of it, which I still don't understand that decision. But, you know, it's even the song, like, just the way it begins, it doesn't feel like a rehashed MMPR theme. You know, it has enough new and enough old to feel like a totally new theme song. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's your cup. You know, that's your opinion. You can fucking stick to your opinion if you want to. But you know how much bitching I was doing when I heard that they were going to reuse MMPR for the 2nd consecutive season, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, you can't come up with an original theme song?" But
oh man, you were so bitter.
I really was.
I mean, you were.
I mean, partly because Saban ignored Gokaiger, which, you know, in hindsight was a smart decision, because there is over half of the season that they wouldn't be able to use, because a lot of it were pre-Zeo Ranger teams, so there's no way we could use that footage, you know? And with them trying to recapture the lightning in a bottle that MMPR did, I feel just like the first episode, the entire season is going to be that way. So where we see a lot of nods towards MMPR, I think the format itself is going to be a gigantic nod to MMPR. So first season Megaforce is Zeo Ranger, right? Or first season Power Rangers was Zeo Ranger. First season Megaforce was Goseiger. Second season Power Rangers was Die Ranger. I feel second season of Megaforce is going to be Gokaiger. So basically, season 1 of Megaforce will end, this has been rumored, I don't know if it's been confirmed. It'll end with the Legend War, what Troy has been dreaming about. Second season is going to pick up after the Legend War, with the addition of, they'll probably call him fucking Gokaiger, Gokai Silver, you know. So I don't know if they're just going to scrap the Gokaiger suits and not use them like they did for Die Ranger in season 2, or if they're going to do what they did with Zeo, where they lose their Megaforce powers and gain a new source of power from the Ranger keys themselves. So I don't think Gokaiger's completely done. I don't think Gokaiger's never going to come here. I think it'll come here in some form or fashion. I just think it's going to be a completely unique storyline. You know, we might not get...
Well, they have to use it.
Well, we might not get the core team, you know, red through blue or whatever, however you want to judge that. You will get Silver for sure, because they've already confirmed Silver. You know, so if we do get the Gokaiger suits, I feel they can do it in a couple of ways. Kind of like they did with Kaku Ranger suits, with the Alien Rangers. You know, there's 100 different ways they can write this out. But I'm getting ahead of myself. This is supposed to be about episode 1. So we'll put that on the back burner for now. As you can tell, I'm passionate about this.
Well, I was going to say, they have to use Gokaiger somehow, because they do show the keys in episode 1, which I very much like. They don't say anything about them other than the fact that it's past Rangers, which is accurate if you get technical. And, you know, Troy, and I keep wanting to call him Alita. Their personalities are so similar, it just kind of blows my mind.
By similar, do you mean none?
Exactly. They're just so kind of blank right now. It's just weird.
I don't know what their problem is with, like, casting these Red Rangers with no fucking personality whatsoever.
I don't know. But, see, that's how Alito was at the beginning. He was so blank canvas.
I lasted, like,
you know?
2.5 episodes for Goseiger, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
I just
I
haven't seen all of Goseiger either.
I remember Alito was
so
short.
I can't say how he was at the end.
I remember Alito was short and Gosei Pink had big ears, and that's about all I remember from Goseiger.
Gosei Pink had big ears. Well, see, Alito Sorry. See, Alito lost his card at the beginning of episode 1 to Morph.
Oh.
And from that point on, I was like, what kind of Red Ranger are you?
Like, this is the most irresponsible Red Ranger I have ever seen.
So, the fact that they didn't put that in Power Rangers was nice, because I would have just kind of kicked the table over or something.
That's the one thing I am grateful for, is the fact that this isn't a shot-for-shot remake of Goseiger. Because I don't give a shit if you were a fan of Samurai. Go watch Shinkenger if you haven't seen it, and a lot of those fucking scenes in Power Rangers would make sense.
Yes. Jamie loved Samurai, and that's what she saw first.
Mm-hmm.
But I told her to watch Shinkenger, and she went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
She loves Shinkenger. I mean, she just... But I didn't love Samurai.
DANCELOVELILY on YouTube.
Yeah, my friend Jamie, she's a big Power Rangers and now Sentai fan, and she's DANCELOVELILY on YouTube. I can put her link somewhere. We're super friends.
We'll shout
she's
you out.
Awesome cosplayer.
I don't know why she used your real name. I don't know. She's silly.
Yeah, anyway. But, you know, she wasn't exposed to Sentai. She was just a Power Rangers fan, and she saw Shinkenger and thought it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But it is shot for shot, and it's just... She got the enjoyment out of both of them because she saw Samurai first.
Yeah. What killed it for me, for Samurai, was the acting. And then the whole super thing started, and I'm just like, why do they have to be so armored up to be inside of a vehicle? It just got
I'm waiting
really
for them
weird.
to use the word hyper in something.
Oh, yeah, the next one's going to be Omega. Super duper.
Well, they're all using Mega, but I'm waiting for them to go to hyper mode or hyper something, because it's, like, the only word they haven't used.
I'm pretty sure they use hyper.
You just mentioned acting. We've seen episode 2 already, so we know how the acting is in episode 2 in comparison.
Yeah,
but
don't
before we'd seen episode 2...
Don't let episode 1 throw you off.
Yeah. Don't let episode 1 scare you guys, we'll tell you that. But opinions on episode 1's acting.
It was a pilot.
I want to go first.
Go for it.
I want to go first. You've been talking.
Go for it.
I remember watching the first episode, and the acting was just so bad. Like you just said, it was a pilot. And that much is very obvious. Everybody's kind of over-exaggerated or not quite connected.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't feel like they're really conveying the emotion naturally. It's all forced. It's just not coming across like they're human.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell they're reciting lines, with the exception for the guy playing Jake.
I think what did that a lot was a lot of the unnecessary voiceover work in episode 1. Like the bus driver's complete voiceover, Troy waking up on the bus talking to himself voiceover, like, and the dialogue was really cheesy too, so that made it worse. So I just think a lot of the unnecessary voiceover work, which even fucking Samurai was guilty of, I think contributed to the whole, God, this is kind of stale kind of feeling to it.
Yeah. One line I remember was a line that Emma, the Pink Ranger, said when they explained what color she was.
Oh, yeah.
And she said, well, pink is my favorite color, just like that.
With no emotion
and
in
I,
it
like,
at all.
want to smack her.
It's like, are you sure?
And
like,
I'm just like...
It doesn't sound like it's your favorite
really?
color. But speaking of Emma...
I'm not convinced.
Like, we touched on the homages to MMPR. First one being the first fight scene, first transformation. I guess even before that would be the dynamic between Gosei and Tenso, which was a remake of the dynamic between Zordon and Alpha 5 even down to the not teenagers bit that the fucking robot did. Which, by the way, if you can get an awesome robot like Alpha 5 for the first season, why do you have a shitty CG
Why does
fucking Johnny 5 as your robot companion? Like, that robot is stupid. He looks like a projector on wheels. Anyway.
He doesn't even have a facial expression? Or...
Yeah, he looks like Johnny 5. Like, if anyone's ever seen the movie Johnny 5 or Short Circuit, he looks like that robot. Anyway. So there's that one. Zordon, Alpha, Tenso, and Gosei. The first fight, there hasn't been a Bulk and Skull homage yet, and I'm waiting for that because I have a feeling they're going to do it because Bulk and Skull was so huge in MMPR. But the juice bar, really? You can't even name him something different. It's Ernie's juice bar again.
No, it's Brain Freeze.
Whatever. The guy's name is Ernie.
It's still the Brain Freeze. They called it Brain Freeze. I caught on to the actual name.
Well, that's fine, but the guy's name is Ernie, and he's still Ernie, and he was Ernie in MMPR. So I don't know. The whole episode is just like a huge nod to MMPR, which I'm not complaining about. It was cool. But it got to the point where it's just like, really? You chose that to tip your hat to? That's kind of weird. It's definitely, it feels like an updated version of MMPR, so. Anyway, Megaforce. For me, it was actually really cool. And I have a lot more to say about episode 2, because episode 2 was a lot better.
Yeah, we're trying to stay off of episode 2 because we're talking about 1 right now.
And just for, like, my general comment on, like, how episode 1 went over in the fandom, I'm not sure what people expected, because I've seen a lot of comments that are super anti-Megaforce, and it's, for me, being a longtime fan, I feel respected in a way by Saban. Like, he finally acknowledged the fact that there are going to be seasoned fans of the show who are going to be tuning in for this one. It doesn't feel like a cop-out. And it's just a lot of the people saying, oh, well, it was okay. It wasn't fantastic. Like, what are you expecting here? Like, are you expecting them to reinvent the wheel? Like, what could they possibly do to make Megaforce episode 1 or episode 2 for that matter any better than it was? At that point, it's just bitching for the sake of bitching. I thought episode 1 was a great episode. I thought the dynamic between the teacher and the students, that whole scenario, the dynamic between the team, which, by the way, Yellow reminds me of Wild Force Yellow, and that's kind of annoying. Just because that arrogant attitude kind of gets on my nerves. But I'm pretty sure it's a whole coming-of-age thing, and she'll fucking be rah-rah teen, let's go, towards the end of the season. But, I'm not sure what people want out of a Power Rangers season. Because for me, they gave me everything I was asking for. Make it feel like an anniversary show because it's the 20th. Make it feel like Saban's Power Rangers. It does. And don't dial it in by giving me cheesy cop-out fucking script writing. And so far they haven't. It's been kind of hit and miss, but 1 out of 3, hey, I'll take those odds any day. Anyway, hi, welcome to Eric Brandt's about Power Rangers.
And I sit here and nod.
we have Cho here too. She's here to look pretty.
Yeah.
And to smile.
I try to get a word in.
Sorry, I'm gonna shut up now.
I attempt. That's why I think of things to say prior, because when you get talking, I'm just like...
If you ever wondered what our personal life is like, this is it in a nutshell.
Okay.
Totally.
But seriously, I really like this episode, but I'm going to rat on you for a minute, and I had earlier, because I said this. I said earlier that you were very bitter about this episode. You know, you were like, this is an anniversary show. I can't believe they're doing this, and this, and this, and this. And, like, hi, Buster Blue. You know, you were extremely, like, I don't know what to call it, not elitist, like, purist, and just, you did not want it to be bad or anything less than what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And then you saw the episode and you were just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you were fanboying and no, you were fangirling, okay? I'm not even going to say you were fanboying. You were fangirling completely. And I want people to realize that they need to give the show a chance.
Yeah.
Because if they go into it with the attitude of, oh, this is gonna suck, it's just like MMPR, blah, 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 okay, then just don't even. Like, get out. Go away. We don't need you here. Because it's a good show. The first episode, the acting was kind of meh in certain places. I really, really like Jake's acting because he's the most natural in the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get worse in the second either, but we're just talking about one. But, you know, you have to give it a chance because it's just the first episode and it's really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They did unveil a lot of their, like, all the weapons and the powers, and they just magically kind of knew how to use them.
It was very cluttered for an episode because, like I said, they had to get through a lot. And I don't even think episode 1 of MMPR was that fast-paced.
No.
I mean, it's been a while since
it wasn't, I don't think.
Because I don't think they used their power weapons till, like, episode 4 or 5.
I don't recall. I really don't. But it's, if you actually give it a chance, it can be an enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
But you can't go into it thinking it's gonna suck because.
Well, I mean, even if you are going into it thinking it's going to suck, at least go into it with an open mind. You know, don't go into it thinking this needs to be Super Sentai, or don't go into it thinking, holy crap, this is gonna suck because Samurai sucked. You know, just, it's Megaforce. You know, it's its own thing.
Yeah.
It's its own. Give it its chance to earn its own respect. You know, and I guarantee you'll come out of it thinking, hey, that was better than I thought it was gonna be. For me, this is the first time I've been excited for a Power Rangers season in a very long time.
I really, really want their morphers.
I want the Legacy Morpher. You can have that one. I'll have the Legacy Morpher.
The Legacy
Morpher plays the theme song. Are you kidding me? It's amazing. And it's freaking die-cast. Fucking gimme. Anyway, I'm Darcage.
You were such a kid.
That's Cho.
I'm Cho.
This is freaking Mega Time on the CD's Vlogs Cast. I'll see you guys next time. I'm going to say the Heroes Defender line, but that's really cheesy and I'm not going to do that.
I could have said it.
I'll see you guys later. You can say it. I'm still recording.
What is it?
Earth's Defenders.
Earth's Defenders never surrender.
You didn't do any of the hand moves. Anyway, we'll see you guys next
time.
What are the hand movements? I don't know. I have no idea.